Here it is, the complete May 2024 comic haul. I'm going to try my best to make this the longest video ever, probably running at an hour and a half. And I will do is try and make it like an hour or 20 minutes going with comics, and then like 10 minutes, that's a lot of minutes though, like maybe an hour and 25 minutes of, because last time it ended prematurely. It was really annoying at an hour and 27 minutes, but let's get into it. First up is Son of Hitler, written by Anthony Del Cole and Jeff Moore. Now, the reason why I hate when the book will be co-author is because I never know that going in. I always see, oh, Anthony Del Cole, cool, Son of Hitler. And I'm a huge, so first of all, obviously I'm huge into Image comics. And secondly, I want to get everything the author has done for Image. So I still count the co-author as being like, I need to get everything he's done too for Image. And already knowing, yeah, I have everything Anthony Del Cole did for Image, cool. But now you get everything Jeff Moore did. And this was one that I found out I have everything. Most of these I did check after. Like, it was that first video, and I was like, oh, just a co-author, yada yada yada, and checked after that. So, we're all good. But and also the interior artwork. This is one that I have read before. The ones that obviously it's going to be the ones that I talk about the most, going to be the ones that I've read previously. And all the ones that I've read previously have been thanks to my local library, their interloan system, or potentially even the actual local library. I guess it's a better page to show. It's a bit dark. And they're just ones that I liked so much, or some aren't. Some of them are kind of ones that I'm like, yeah, I had to own it for one reason or the other. But 95% of the books that I got, I would even say 97%, that library previously had, I purchased because I wanted to own them, because I liked them, not because I wanted to. The other is because I wanted to do an in-depth review of one. You'll see what that is pretty soon here. But this is one that I did enjoy and do recommend. Water Break. I had my water there. Alright, next up is Simon Says Nazi Hunter, Volume 1. I don't know what they say Volume 1 when there's no Volume 2. I guess it's just so they know. And is honestly, I will give credit where credit is due. Even if there's not a Volume 2, it makes new readers, it is a good way of letting new readers know, hey, this is a Volume 1. This is inspired by true events. Son of Hitler obviously isn't, but this one is based off true events. I mean, it's historical fiction, but still fiction. Son of Hitler is, but this one is based off true events. And this one was out of because both Son of Hitler and this deal with Nazis, and I believe both took place in World War II. This one I believe takes place in World War II. Out of those two, this was the best one. This is the better one. I still recommend picking up both, and I think it's kind of one of those things where one is a good companion piece to the other. Because I actually had read these when I checked them out with my local library. I checked them out at the same time. Now, some of these books have some more than others, but they all, in general, have some sort of sentimental value. This one in Son of Hitler was just one of those days where I remember the exact place I was. I remember exactly where I was when I read these books. And it's one of those things that now they own them, and it's kind of like it comes full circle, I guess you could say. It's one of those things that I feel like more accomplished, I guess you could say, owning these books. And again, all these I at least tolerated. You know, none of them I did absolutely hate, but again, it's so I can do an in-depth review of that comic and not have it be the library's copy. But this one and Son of Hitler are both OGN, so it's like it's all in one. There's no previously collected material in here. And this one is written by Andre R. Fratino and Jesse Lee. Again, it does not say who's who, so I'm assuming Jesse Lee is the artist, but it doesn't say specifics. And I don't think it does in the back, does it? Let's see. No, that's the end of the book. This is an advert. yet again, TLDR, not TLDR, to summarize what I said last time. This is just for those of you who only saw, like, say, part 1 of my birthday haul and want to see what else I got in May, and you didn't stick around for complete birthday haul. This one, I did get off. I did most of these I got from third-party sellers, but in most of them, even then, I got used like new. But some I had to sacrifice used very good. And this is one that I found out afterwards. There was indeed a used like new condition. Look, even though on a stack of Bibles, I swear to God that I did not see any used like news at all. And even then, it wasn't like they were all super expensive. It was like $20, whatever. The only thing wrong with it is there's a little thing right here. That thing right there. That's it. But it's so small you can't really tell. And thankfully, it's not going to affect the reading like at all because it does not go back beyond the margin. Like this, for example, is what I mean by margin. I will show on there. Son of Hitler, as Sam says. This is what I mean by margin. This thing here, and I'll show the artwork again just in case. There you go. Just in case. I'm pretty sure I remember to show it off, but just in case I didn't. There you go. This next one is Brian Hoynes' Secret Identities, collecting all 7 issues of the series written by Brian Hoynes. Again, he spells his last name Joines. So, Joines, I don't know. Now this one, so this is, for whatever reason, issue 1 is printed upside down. Again, I want to say that's for aesthetic purposes, because the first page seems like the character's upside down. No, he's not. The more I look at it, it must be, and it might be a misprint. Do not know. But all 7 issues of the series is written by Brian Hoynes, whatever, and with story edits done by Jay Fairbear. So I don't count that as, I need everything Jay Fairbear has done for Image Comics. Story edits, that usually means it's just very, like, it's hardly noticeable. Maybe Brian was behind on certain things, so Jay came to save the day, like, very minuscule things. Like, I don't think he wrote an entire issue, so I don't count it as a Jay Fairbear book. It's a Brian Hoynes book. With art by, again, Elias Crazias. Or Crazies, I don't know. Colors for issue 1 is done by Cully Churchoff, and issues 2 through 7, the colors are done by Ron Riley. So here's the Elias's guy's name. I don't know. I know Elias is usually spelled, at least according to my friends from high school, he spelled his name Elias. Oh, definitely different way of spelling Elias, but it sounds like doing, like, how you, back in the day when you were learning to read, you sounding it out, it does sound like Elias. The next one up is another Brian Hoynes book, and this is honestly the other reason why I got Krampus. Krampus, collecting all 5 issues of this series. Now, there is one I thought was a sequel that was from Oni Press. This is from Image Comics. It's just a new printing, and for whatever reason, like with Jeff Parker's Underground, the newer printing, updated printing, is done through Oni Press, even though it was originally Image Comics. I just found that to be a kind of a funny coincidence, because I got an Underground by Jeff Parker back in March. Yes, back in March, and I said it. I looked up Image Comics Jeff Parker. It's like, oh, that's cool. I'll get that this month, because Jeff Parker is a writer I know. Batman 66 is in the comic news because it's getting an omnibus reprint, and I have Volume 2. So let's finally get what Jeff Parker has done for Image. And then I bought the Oni Press printing. Hopefully, the Oni Press printing has more than the Image comic printing does. There's actually a series I got the other day called Scales and Scoundrels on the Kindle, because it was on sale. So it was like no brainer getting on the Kindle. It was like 2 for the price of not even 1, like less than 1, like half of 1. But that Scales and Scoundrels, the printing by TKO, comes with the entire series that was prematurely canceled at Image. So you have more book. That's the TKO printing. So sometimes they will come with more, like if it gets canceled at Image, they'll bring it over to another publisher, and like with Skeleton Scoundrels, it wasn't Brian Schreiber, that's the different guy. I forget what his name is, but Simon, I don't know. But someone Gertcher, not Steve Gertcher, Simon Gertcher, I don't know. But he got his wish and got to finish the series at TKO. But yes, Krampus, 1 through 5, Ryan Hoynes doing the writing, and it's illustrated by Dean Kotz. Yet again, colors is done by Ron Riley, who did the grand majority of Secret Identities. Now, Secret Identities was a superhero comic. This is a Christmas horror comic. I think it's more of an action comic, from what I remember. Like I checked this out in my local library. At the same time, I checked out the movie that came out recently, that PG-13 stupid movie, the 2015 one. Actually, honestly, it's somehow still the best reviewed Krampus movie. And it was definitely more horror. Let's see what it says in the back here. Yeah, science fiction fantasy, so not horror at all. But what was the other thing I was gonna mention? Oh, and Secret Identities. I always got confused. Actually, another book you'll see, another superhero book you'll soon see here. That's written by Paul Jenkins. But I was too confused. I always thought the Paul Jenkins book was Secret Identities rather than Sidekick, which is what the Paul Jenkins book is called. Sidekicks. You'll see it pretty soon here. But first up, Singularity, written by Matt Groom, one of my favorite authors, purely based off the fact that I had read his Self-Made and really dug that one. That was also from Image. I got that back in December, and yes, it was also a book I read at the library before, actually twice before, and I got it twice before I purchased it myself to add to my personal collection. But this is the Singularity, written by Matt Groom with a bunch of different artists, and co-written by Bear McCreary, because this is a concept album. Here, I'll read the back again. Where is it here? Here it is. Inspired by and a companion to the original rock concept album of the same name by Emmy and BAFTA award-winning and Grammy-winning, BAFTA award-winning and Grammy award-nominated composer Bear McCreary. So, I found that pretty cool. But I believe all these names, you have Matt Groom here too, but I believe all the other names are artists. So starting with Ramon K. Perez and ending with Becca Carey. Well, actually, it's letterer, but these are all artists. And Becca Carey, I believe, is the letterer. I know she's lettered some other books I've read, but spit it out. I don't think she's an artist. I don't believe she is, anyways. No, I read. Actually, lettering is such a lettering is for the most part such a non-issue for me that I never usually keep the letterer's name in back of my mind. Like sometimes I like the curved A that they used for DC books. I think it was back in 2009, starting with Grant Morrison's Batman run, Batman and Robin run specifically. Is that like a curved A? I like that one. And I also like the one that I believe that I like the Ultimate Universe one too. That's like print, but it's lowercase, not all uppercase. But I don't have a specific letterer. As long as I can still read it. There's one that's a bit hard to read. I think Daniel Warren Johnson, his books are usually hard to read the lettering of. It's a lot more scratchy and chicken scratchy. So it's still legible, but as long as for the most part the lettering is legible, I don't care one way or the other who's doing the lettering. Moving on. So Singularity was an OGN. This is the Enfield Gang Massacre, collecting all 6 issues of this miniseries, plus an additional 6-page story for the trade, which I think is very commendable of him to do. This is a prequel to Texas Blood, so I had to get this one. And it's written by the same writer and artist, and the artwork is done by the same artist as Texas Blood. And it's Chris Condon who's doing the artist. Chris Condon is the writer, and Jacob Phillips is the artist for the Enfield Gang Massacre, which is a long time coming. I was originally going to get this back in April, but I got delayed till May 14th. So I was like, you know what, at that point, it's going to become a birthday book. Then we have Twig, written by Scotty Young, with artwork done by Kyle Strong. collecting all 5 issues of this miniseries that I did originally own before I traded my library. Not my library, but before I tried to trade my library. I did originally own the first 3. First 3 is the first issue. First 3 issues of this series. I really did dig this series. Now this is going to go into what I call my wrong box. Obviously I love Twig. Twig was absolutely incredible. My second favorite Scotty Young book, right next to Middle West, which I will be finally finishing once and for all pretty soon here, like within the next month. Yeah, this one I really dug. It's all 5 issues of the series, written by Scotty Young. Sorry, start again. Scotty Young, all 5 issues. So yeah, I read this before, I really dug it. What else to mention? Weird. I thought there was something else to mention. Oh, wrong box. That's what it was. So that's these little issues, since I have to try to collect all this plus all the entire series, including these issues, obviously. That goes into what I call my wrong box. And obviously, I really like Twig, but I call it my wrong box in general because it falls under 3 criteria that goes in the wrong box. 1, I own the entire series, so the issues that I had beforehand in single issue format, those go into the wrong box. Or it's just terrible. I didn't particularly like it, but I know it's my opinion, so someone else will like it. And finally, it was a duplicate. Because sometimes sometimes I would, I'd be like, oh, Fantastic Four 307, I don't own that. Wait, I do. But I haven't done it in a long time. And I don't collect single issues anymore anyways, so it's never going to happen again. Not even trades. Trades, I know, like, I have so many comics, people thinking, well, have you ever bought a trade by chance twice? No. I have dreams of doing that, but I've never actually done it in real life. It's kind of funny, I had a dream last night. I had bought Wayward, and I was like, yeah, Wayward, I love that series, blah, blah, I had it, yeah, I'm finally going to own it. And I was like, wait a minute, I already own this. I wonder if it was my subconscious telling me, like, starting to tell me that I was dreaming, and then be like, you do own this. Remember back in October you got it, and yada, yada, yada? It's kind of funny. But yeah, I'll have a recurring dream that I'll buy a book I already owned. It's a really weird dream. But the Schlub is the next book, written by Ryan Stegman and Kenny Porter, with art done by Tyrell Cannon and colors done by Mike Spicer, who I previously mentioned Dylan Warren Johnson. Mike Spicer almost always will do the colors for, like, he always will team up almost always will team up with Dylan Warren Johnson on his books. And here is the artwork. Definitely a very, like, out there kind of comic. But 1 through 6 of the Schlub. Now this one I know for sure. You can find the comic trailer for issue 1, which I always find that to be very cool. I always think that's a nice thing that they do. I don't know if Twig did, but most of their new series, actually, which most if not all of these have come out within the last 10 years. Like this one just came out. This is a new release. It's actually a 2024 book. The Schlub is. Trade release came out in 2024. I don't know the issues themselves. But all like new series. There's another new release, and that is Saladin Ahmed's Terrorwar. This is one that I really liked Saladin Ahmed's work. I think his or her, I believe it's him. Let's say him. His Ms. Marvel run was the best follow-up to G. Willow Wilson's run thus far. I've not read the most recent run, but so far my favorite run follow-up to G. Willow Wilson's run has been Saladin Ahmed's run. Okay, good here. All right. No, wait a second. All right. So, I'm getting a lot of notifications when I'm trying to film, but that's fine. Let's take a brief break. So Terrorwar collects all 9 issues of this mini series. There's 10 issues above the maxi series. So here's the artwork. The artwork here is done by someone Acosta. Dave Acosta? Yep. Art is done by David Costa, with inks done by Jay Lee Stern, and colors done by Walter Pereira. So this is a good segue into why I like to do videos like this. So I'll do my like part 1 and part 2 and part 3 of the complete birthday / Christmas hauls, but then, or just comic hauls in general, but then I will do a complete monthly haul. The reason why I do that is because just in case there's anything I forgot to mention, anything I incorrectly said. So part 1, there's a series that's a 6-issue series that I incorrectly said was 4 issues. So it's correcting all the mistakes I potentially could have made, or may have made. Those are all corrected in videos like this. And it's just a way for me to, again, anything I forgot to mention, any new information I found out about series since uploading the part 1, part 2, part 3, whatever the hell, you know. So yes, Terrorwar, looking all 9 issues of the series. All Against All, written by Alex Packnadel, with artwork done by... So you can tell when I'm going through these really quickly, I haven't read these series yet. The ones that I'm going to say, like, oh yeah, I read this series, really liked it, and then talk more in depth into it, you can tell it's a book I've read before. But ones I'm just going, like, sort of quickly through, you can tell I've not read them yet. This is written by Alex Packnadel. The artist is Casper Wingard, and that's it. No colorist. So Casper must also be a colorist, too. Sometimes they just say artist. It's very strange. And I don't think there's any inks here done. Inks are done. I mean, designer Ian Chargren, but that's about it. But letterer, again, because it's just such a nothing burger of a thing. No offense to letterers, obviously. I never usually credit them. There is one that I know somewhat personally. When I do my, I should put this in a community post. I do usually weekly, live streams with Legion of Comics on YouTube, who's also a YouTuber, and he has Justin Birch on, as the same first name as mine, on the show. Almost every week he's on the show, and he's a letterer. So far, I've not come across anything he's done a lettering for. Next time we'll ask him though, but he's probably done a lot, so he can't remember off the top of his head. Probably ask for an image, I guess. I don't know. But I'm gonna show you artwork yet again. Now, not all of these were from, like, my parents will give me a budget. Not all of these books I got were based on that budget. All Against All was, my grandmother got me that. Terrorwar, Schlub, and Twig was my aunt. So, and then Enfield Gang and Singularity, that was my sister / her boyfriend. So her boyfriend lives with us, and so we exchange gifts. Like, he's part of the family, so we exchange gifts. And, you know, I give him gifts for his birthday, and vice versa. Worth mentioning, I feel. Next book up is Bloodstained Teeth. Long story short, Volume 1 took so long to get in that I'm surprised I did not buy Volume 2 any earlier, because this concludes the entire series. This is 6 through 10 of the series, 6 through 10, written by Christian Ward, with artwork done by Patrick Reynolds. And then Chapter 1's guest artist is Mac Chater. So nothing here is done by... None of the artwork here is done by Christian Ward. The first volume it was like, I think it was like flashbacks, and the flashbacks, the art was done by Christian Ward. Because Christian Ward is yet another artist turned author. The other one I know for a fact we've gone over thus far has been Ryan Stegman. You guys will know him from Johnny Cage's run. Should know him from Johnny Cage's run on Venom. Those who have read that run should know what I meant. He did the artwork for Venom run. Bloodstained Teeth. Volume 2, Book 2, Drip Feed, collecting 6 through 10, written by Christian Ward, with artwork done by Patrick Reynolds. I like to be complete. I don't call this a complete May graphic novel haul for nothing. But so far, it's not been like a Volume 1, it's not been the Enfield Gang Massacre, Volume 1, the Old West. No, it's just been Volume 1. Even then, it's even say Volume 1? No, I don't. Next one is the Unearthed Cemetary Blues. Now, every now and then, I will be looking up books from Image, and I'll come across these random ass books, and I'll be like, hey, what else has this guy written? I don't know who this author is. It's entirely possible I've read something else from him. Oh wait, no, I can't have, because this is the only thing he's done in general. Not only just for Image, but is in general. Like, on Amazon, this is the only book on their Amazon page. And that is the case with Ryan Rubio, who writes the series. And then Thomas Boatwright is the artist for the Unearthed Cemetary Blues. Now, yet again, I'm just going to say what the table of contents collects. It's the Curse of Wallace Manor. It collects the Curse of Wallace Manor, the Haunting of Hernsburg, and then the Inconvenience Store and Let's All Die in the Lobby, I believe, are both of which are it's new material. And I love that it has a table of contents but no page numbers. That is so cool, man. It's so nice to know. Hate to say this, but this is one of the used like news that could be passed off as used very good. Entirely possible the way I opened it. But that's why the blemishes are there, because the way I opened it and before they was completely immaculate, and nothing like too terrible. It's just kind of like you just could have passed off as used very good, and kind of counts as used very good, but still in perfectly fine condition. And nothing to complain about here. Both volumes of Brian Pucolato's Cannibal. Now, most of these I've read the entire series that my local library had. But every so often, I'll buy a series, and I think I bought all of them, actually, from Image at least, that didn't have the rest of the series. I only had Volume 1, not Volume 2. And now I can finally finish Volume 2, and then finish the entire series, too. This is Cannibal by Brian Pucolato again, and here's the artwork. The artwork is done by... check in a second here. So Volume 1 collects 1 through 4 of Cannibal, and Volume 2 collects 5 through 8 of Cannibal, all of which is written by Brian Pucolato, and I believe all of which is drawn by Jennifer Young. Sorry, no. Oh yeah, Jennifer Young is also a story. So it's Brian Pucolato and Jennifer Young doing the story for this entire series. Mateus Bagara is the artist, and Brian Pucolato is the colors. Pretty cool. So yeah, I have to look up Jennifer Young. I'll see if she's on anything for Image that I don't have, because I never thought I had to look it up. I know, I get it. Like, you know, I say like, oh, I like this artist, and then he's done other stuff for Image. There's artists. Like, I don't really count artists, even though I really should. For like, oh, I need that from him from Image Comics. I have to complete my Image Comics Gavon Scott run. I don't think he's an artist, but Brian Stegman. You know, he did the artwork for Vanish by Donny Cates. I wasn't like, oh, no, I need to get Vanish too. No. When I get Donny Cates' stuff, sure. But other than that, no. Let's see. She might not have her own Image Comics page. And so far, so good. Okay, there we go. Nice. Because they don't count Cannibal as a Brian Pucolato book, it's not even on the Image Comics website. So when released by Jennifer Young, nothing. It wasn't even a 404 server error, just nothing. Cool. So I imagine there's just Cannibal. I know it's stupid for me to be like that, but I am that way. Next up is probably the only Brendan Fletcher series I actually really dug, and that is Isola, Volumes 1 and 2. Technically, this is co-written by Carl Keschel, so it's entirely possible, who also did the artwork, so it's entirely possible that it was more of a Carl Keschel yarn than a Brendan Fletcher yarn. But even with the other Brendan Fletcher co-authored series that I've read, Gotham Academy, even then didn't like Gotham Academy, and I blamed Brendan Fletcher more than I did Becky Cloonan. That was the whole reason why I got that back in the day. It's actually a year ago, actually. Because I really dug her Wonder Woman run, so I know I will like Becky Cloonan's writing based off her Wonder Woman run, and the one orphaned issue of her Punisher run I read. And it's issue 8 specifically. So it's story is done by Brendan Fletcher and Carl Keschel, and then Carl Keschel and Massacre are the artists. Again, here is the credits page, so you can see who the artist is. Yet again, let's segue to showing off the art yet again. Why not? I can tell that there's very little dialogue in this entire book. Well, not entire book, but in it, I believe in this entire book, there was not a whole lot of dialogue. That was more than I thought there was. But I remember this being a very fast-paced, very interesting story. It took me usually comics take me about 20 minutes to read per issue. This I believe took me 10. So I definitely get credit where credit was due. I definitely gave credit where credit was due back then, way back when. But Volume 1 collects 1 through 5, and Volume 2 collects 6 through 10. I believe I already mentioned that, but let's mention it again. Well, it's in the back here. I know I didn't do any others. Tried more give it praise for Isola. You know, we'll do it at the end. I'll go through each and every book and say this guy made this book praise, because it's it's a little bonus for those who stick around to the end. Post-credit scene, if you will. The other Brendan Fletcher series, Motor Crush. This one I read for the first time. I thought was really good. Read the second time, didn't think it was all that great. I believe I only read it twice. Part of me wanted to say I read it 3 times, but I don't know. But let's go based off my first read-through. My first read-through of the series. First read-through was the first time I read the series. Let's go based off of that. Let's go based off how I felt the first time I read the series, and assume that this is a good series, and assume it's a recommendation. It was a nice little road trip kind of movie, road trip kind of comic. I mean, I remember digging it enough. I think the second time I read it, I just thought it was, I don't know. Somehow I was expecting something different my second read through than I was the first. I mean, I wasn't expecting anything the first time I read this series, but. So artist is Karen Stewart and colorist is Babs Tarr. I believe Babs Tarr is the colorist. Same exact creative team as the Batgirl run I absolutely hate. But this one I definitely did. Like, even my second time reading this, I liked it a lot better than his Batgirl run. His Batgirl run, I will give credit where credit's due, yet again saying that phrase, that it just comes after Gail Simone's impeccable, not inoffensive, what's the word? Immaculate Batgirl run. Like, top tier Batgirl run. Controversial, as controversial as it is good, in my opinion. 1 through 5 is collected in Volume 1, and we're going to double check to make sure, because according to Image, Volume 2, is it Volume 2? Volume 2 collects 6 through 11. But this series did get prematurely canceled, and usually sometimes when that happens, that unfortunately means that they only collect issues like 1 through 10 in the trades, and then issue 11 because that started a new story arc. They're like, oh, it's gonna be collected in Volume 3. Like, a good example is Becky Cloonan's Southern Cross. 13 and 14 are you only get on a Kindle because there's no, or in single issue format because there's no trade. I had to get on the Kindle because there's no way in hell I'd be able to find those 2 issues at any comic store near me. Okay, chapter 6. So let's just go to the end of the book. I know how the book ends anyways. There's no downside. I do remember in like cliffhanger, I was like, oh man, kind of wish the series continued. I'm so pissed it says issue 10. Come on. Oh, there it is. Definitely. Okay, so definitely has to collect issue 11, right? Come on, issue 11. Come on. There it is. Phew. So yes, officially, this collects 6 to 11 and 1 through 5 in the first volume. I showed the artwork. I did. You know what? Let's show it again. Just in case. Just to be on the safe side. Tell the artwork is definitely like more cartoony and more. I don't want to say girly, but more like more pinks and blues and reds. Suburban Glamour, collecting 1 through 5. Oh, that's right. Suburban Glamour, collecting 1 through 4. This series, written and drawn by Jane McKelvey, and I believe the colorist too, right? Let's see. Yep, colors too. Matthew Wilson doing the cover art. So almost the entire creative team, as did Wicked and Divine, which is the next book. But showing off. Now this one I remember liking enough. Like, this is a good example of, yes, an artist can be just as good as an artist as they are a writer, and this proved that. This one I remember liking enough. Now on to their magnum opus, but this time this series is written by Kieran Gillen. Volumes 2 through 9 of Wicked and Divine. I had Volume 1 way back when. Again, brief little story. I went more in depth in part 1. But I'm going to summarize it. Back in the day, I was doing quantitative equality, so I would just get a bunch of Volume 1s and never continue that series. Because because from Image, most of their Volume 1s are $10. It's like, oh, you can get 1,000 books for $10 now. You can get 1,000 books for $10. You know, like 1,000 books, oh my god. Yeah, guess what? You didn't get the rest of the series. Sometimes I got lucky, but like it was like 9 times out of 10 I did not. Maybe I had to find Volume 2 after, or in that same day. But series like Southern Bastards and this Wictive, only later did I finish the series. I believe, other than Deadly Class, the reason why I'm waiting on Deadly Class for so long is because I want to get everything Rick Remender has done all at once. Maybe I'll do like 2 months. I don't want to do that. Like maybe next April, I'll do half of what he's done, because I can't get everything at once, unfortunately, at this point. I don't think I can, at least. And then in May, I get the second half, and then more, I don't know. But no promises, obviously. I'm just saying, like, we can start doing that. I should start doing that. So I've been putting it off for a long time. We're getting the rest of Rick Remender's work. Mainly because he keeps writing series for Image. He's on, like, 40,000 ongoings right now for Image. And the complete to me is like, nope. At least Kieran Gillen, his next series isn't coming out until August. So I have till August until August I can safely say of everything he's done for Image, except for the Image Comics Anthology, which I don't count anyways. But anyways, Wicked and the Divine Volume 2, Phantomonium collects 6 through 11 of the series, and I might almost. It says Eisner nominated award series, like volumes 3 through 9 say that, and I and then my first cut almost kept saying it. I was always saying like Eisner award. I tried not to, because it was so repetitive, but I probably will keep saying it. Oh, and here's the artwork for Wictive. Very phenomenal artwork, absolutely phenomenal artwork. Everyone goes above and beyond for this series. My second favorite Image title, hands down. Wicked and Divine, Volume 3, Commercial Suicide, collects 12 through 17 of the series. Wicked and Divine, Volume 4, Rising Action, collects 18 to 22 of the series. Almost said Eisner, so it should have right there. Should have won the Eisner. Although, guess what else came out that year? At least for indie books, probably, maybe, I don't know. Again, I can't name off the top of my head even 10 titles. I should know when it came out. I want to say 2014. I can't even name like 10 indie titles off the top of my head that came out in 2014. Wictive Volume 5, Imperial Phase Part 1 collects 23 to 28 of Wicked and Divine. Or as I like to call it, Wicked plus the Divine. I used to get in a book my library had, I bought myself. Intro loans, they had it, I bought myself, I had to. Wicked and Divine Volume 6, Imperial Phase Part 2, collects 29, 20 to 33 of the series. And this is one of the books that was used very good, you can tell. Why does this look so skinny? I hate that. I remember like 9 out of 10 out of the 9 volumes, it was like most of them were like thick books. Volume 7 collects trades, 34 to 39 of the series, 34, 39. And it's Volume 7, Mothering and Invention, collecting. I'll say it again. Wicked and Divine Volume 7, Mothering and Invention, collecting 34 to 39 of the series. Wicked and Divine Volume 8, Old is the New, collecting all the specials. That's all it says, unfortunately. They don't say anything specific. All 6 of the essential specials, including the Christmas annual and the funnies. And even on the copyright page where you can see it, even then it doesn't say specifics. But 17, all specials, Volume 8. My least favorite volume of this series, by the way. I just thought maybe if they should have done is maybe made this Volume 9, and Volume 8 was the last few issues, because this is just, like, one special was in between issues, like, 6 and 8, between issues 6 and 7, I mean. So it's kind of like, okay. All I can go with the artist was Oh, so the artist of the entire series is Jim McKelvey with Matthew Wilson doing the colors. And Karen Gillan doing the writing, obviously. Sometimes you have guest artists, like I know for a fact Stephanie Hans is one of the guest artists, and who did the artwork for? Matt Lopes, who did the artwork for my book I got last year, Gasolina. So that was pretty cool. And then actually is the colorist, but guest artist and colorist for some issues, not every issue. I think it was just this volume and then I think volume 3, whatever. I think they had guest artists on the series. And finally, Wicked and Divine Volume 9, okay, collecting issues 40 to 45 of the Eisner nominated series. So 51 issues total. It's a lot of Wicked. If you include the special, obviously you do. I do. So that makes it, even more epic, I guess you could say, that it's 50 issue series. Because 50 issues, I think, is like the perfect length for a series like from Image, like, for an indie series. Yeah, Walking Dead, I want it to be the amount of issues it is, because so far, like the first time I read Walking Dead, I could tell exactly where Robert Kirkman had ended the series. So far so good. Like so far I'm like, yeah, you can't end it here, you can't end it here, you can't end it here. But I'm sure I'll get to it. I'm sure it was, but even then it was probably like 5 issues extra, or maybe even 10 at the most issues extra that he was 10 issues before it actually ends, where he said this is where it ends. Because so far, like, everything is still like as investing as it has always been. Anyways, next up is Olympia, collecting 1 through 5 of Olympia, written by Kurt Pyers, I believe, and Tony Pyers. And Kurt Pyers has like the world record for the amount of Comixology originals he does. And if you have a Prime reading account, you can read all those for free. All the Kurt Pyers ones, at the very least. I know sometimes they'll say Comixology unlimited subscription, you read this. So Comixology, that's the difference. So this is another reason why it's good to watch my end of the month hauls. So Comixology Unlimited is, you need a subscription that's separate from Prime Reading. But Comixology Originals, all of those you can read for free with a Prime account. And an Amazon Prime account. And I hope it never goes away. That's such a nice thing. You get free comics. Like your own personal library. Yeah, I only have 10 books out at one time. That's 10 books. And yes, I do keep some that I'm never going to get rid of. Maybe I'll get rid of the Black Widow one, but one of the best Black Widow trades, collected editions of all time. They gave it to you for free back in 2020 when the movie came out, and I've kept it since then. I think it was like 2021, actually. Because, yeah, actually, it wasn't 2020, I don't think. It was 2021, I believe. No, it was 2020. I don't know. Anyways, Olympia 1 through 5, Kurt Pyers, Tony Pyers doing the writing. And yes, it's a father-son team, Tony Pyers being the father. Scripts and edits is done by Kurt Pyers. Colors by D. Kniff. And art done by Alex Diodo. Another superhero comic, but this is more in the realm of fantasy because it's a superhero comic come to life. Like the guy, his kid is, I believe it's a kid, is the same kid, is reading, looks like her favorite comic, and then the superhero comes to life, comes to the real world. Very interesting. So it is fantasy. It actually does say fantasy / superheroes in the back here. And yes, collecting 1 through 5 of Olympia. Now issue 1, first of all, is over 40 pages long, and you can read for free. Not just, Prime reading, comics, nope, for free. Anyone with the Kindle can read issue 1 for free. So, there you go. I'm not going to have to say I recommend or anything, because you can read issue 1 for free. I should mention that on my Instagram account. Maybe tomorrow. Because like with my YouTube account, I like to do 1 post per. Like if I have 2 posts that I know I want to make on Instagram, unless it's comic reviews. One is one day, and the other is the second one is the next day. Comic reviews, it's 2 per, because I read so much that I need to put it in 2 posts. But yeah, moving on. Indigo Children, written by Kurt Pyers, so you get the point, I mean. Indigo Children Volume 1, written by Kurt Pyers and Rockwell White, and with artwork yet again done by Alex Diodo, and yet again the color art is done by D. Kniff. It's pretty funny. Pretty funny. So it should look the same as Olympia. And again, issue 1 is like 40 plus pages. 40 plus pages. But unfortunately, issue 1 is not free on the Kindle. I think every series that's been out from Image, at least when the trade comes out, every issue 1 should be free. It's just 1 issue. Fine, the series has 3 issues, like with Blue and Green, and one's going to be showing up pretty soon here. One of the last ones, actually. Fine, that series is 3 issues long, and even then, the issues didn't even come out. It was just the OGN that came out. And like, it was kind of weird. Like, on the Kindle, you only get the OGN. Was the OGN. I know it's 3 issues. But I remember it said 3 issues. But anyways, oh no, it's 3 chapters. So, Blue and Green is an OGN. Because I just thought it was issues, but I don't think it even is. I think it just goes by chapters in general. But yes, Indigo Children. Yet another reason why it's good to come here for the end of the month hauls, and why I do the end of the month hauls. I've showed everything else before. Loaded Bible Book 1, written by Tim Seeley, artwork done by a bunch of artists. I'm just to the appearance page. Collecting 1 through 3 of this series. Now, Tim Seeley is not, I repeat, not one of my favorite artists, one of my favorite authors of all time. In fact, he's one of my least favorites. I would say even more than Brendan Fletcher. At least I've read counted one book that, like, all the way through, from Brendan Fletcher that I liked. I've not read a single thing by Tim Seeley that I've liked. I think it was just one issue of his Blood Strike I can name on top of my head, but it's just that one issue. And even then, because my local library doesn't have it, I'm like, I get that. Well, it has to fine. Even if it's on sale, fine. Other than that, no. But this, I only got because Book 1 is written by Tim Seeley, but Book 2 is written by Steve Orlando, who I really do dig his writing. Now, I said by mistake, I think I implied at the very least in part 1 of my birthday haul, that he was one of my favorite artists of all time. One of my favorite authors of all time. He's not. He's just an author. I read one series I really dug by him, so he's always on my radar. And I always give his work a chance. But everything I read by him I've liked. Even when I reread his Boom Studios, it was like a gay space sci-fi. I had gay characters in it, that's why I say gay sci-fi. Like a gay sci-fi series. It was a 4-issue miniseries from Boom Studios. I don't remember what it was called. But Loaded Bible, Blood of My Blood, collects 1 through 6 of Blood of My Blood. But it's still Volume 2. Actually, it doesn't say here. But it's Volume 2 of the series. Written by Steve Orlando and Tim Seeley, with artwork done by Giuseppe Camuncoli, with the colors being John Rodriguez. Cover artist Mick Dolphin. That's pretty cool. But here is the artwork for Volume 2. And I'll show it again for Volume 1. I just realized I didn't show Volume 1. Or did I? But you can tell it's different. Usually I don't show it for Volume 2, but I guess I just did. I'm gonna go that series is. That Boom Studios series. So today I'm gonna get a whole lot of reading done. That's fine though. I knew I wouldn't. So I still have to put all these books away on my shelf, and then I have to put them in place of other books to put those books here. And then those books I'm putting on my shelf because my shelf is completely full. So I have to put certain books in my closet. So I'm going to be doing a lot of moving around. A lot of organizing, I mean. Where is it? Just say what it is. Fine, I'll go to this Wikipedia page and take more time out of it one day. You didn't just want to say, Google. Not nominations. Selected bibliography, huh? Were you like, I don't want to count that book? To be fair, if that wasn't like you didn't try as hard, I guess. But. Namesake. So Namesake was the series that I dug by him. Actually, it's kind of funny, the only other Boom Studios book he did that's credited on Wikipedia is his backups of Mighty Morphin. I didn't like those. So that's another one. But I think as it went along, I liked it more and more. It was just kind of annoying because it was like, okay, I've done this series that always was a bit longer. Because I believe each issue was a bit longer than average comic length. Then you had the backups. Like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. Alright. That was good though. I like Doug Powell Higgins, so far at least, his Power Rangers run. And I'm a guy who was like, Power Rangers, okay. And I was like, I never doubted anybody that said it was good. Don't get me wrong, but it's like Power Rangers. My 5-year-old nephew likes Power Rangers. That's stupid. think it looks like the Hulk. I read Hulk books. It looks like Spider-Man, I think it's just because Power Rangers isn't a Marvel property, and some part of me is kind of like that. Even though I am more into indie now than I'm into the big two, still part of me is like, oh, I think maybe when you see you, my cousins into it. I mean, nephew, no, it's not cousin. My nephew's into it, so it's like that stigma. Like same with Transformers. And I will get the Image series, and I will check out what I can of the other books my local library has, but it's always gonna be in the back of my head. It's like any Transformers be used into it. It's like a bias, but not really a bias. I still will check it out. I'll still give it a chance. I'll still like it. I'll still say I like that. I'll still say whatever Krampus do is a good series. Moving on. The Savage Strength of Starstorm, written and drawn by Drew Craig. I believe it is also the colors too. And this collects all 6 issues of this miniseries. I believe it was a miniseries, even though it says Volume 1. No, sorry, colors and letters done by Jason Feinstein. And who does this remind you of? Marvel fans? More looking at it. More looking at it. No, I'll show a better 2-page spread. But definitely a sci-fi book. Now I want to read that Silver Surfer rebirth book. Galactus, those of you who didn't know who I was trying to get at, was who I said, well, fans, guess who this reminds you of, kind of thing. Volumes 1, 2, and 3 of Hinges, collecting the entire webcomic turned into a graphic novel series written and drawn by Meredith McLaren. Now, I'm going to double check and make sure. Now, sometimes we use very good. Look at this weird kind of like dirt residue. So, like this kind of thing. Nothing, as long as the interiors is almost completely immaculate and doesn't affect the reading at all, I don't care, but the exterior, sometimes I'm like, should I have gone to use very good? But this is one that I wasn't like super crazy about anyways. I just wanted to get it because it was an artist turned author book. I was like, you know what, let's get this. I like her artwork enough. Let's get it. So where's the credits page? Yeah, it's just her. So everything done by Meredith McLaren for Hinges. Triple threat. Paul Jenkins Sidekick, Volume 1, collecting 1 through 5 of Sidekick. The art, and we'll be artist in just a second here. But here's the artwork, interior artwork. Artist is Chris Moreno, but chapters 1 through 4 is colored. So art is done by Chris Moreno, but chapters 1 through 4 is colored by Len O'Grady. Chapter 5 is colored by Camilla Tripp and Stephen S. Struble, but all the artwork is done by Chris Moreno. But here is Paul Jenkins Sidekick. So this one is a series that, it's one of those weird series that, so for the most part, creator owned means creator owned for Image. And all of the series will be written, sometimes co-author, but most of the time it's written by one sole author. Sometimes the artist is also credited as a co-creator, but 9 times out of 10, the writer is the creator, and the creator he owns everything. Now, he or she owns everything. Sometimes, again, so there's the co-author, but sometimes, like the Sidekick, Volume 1 will be written by Paul Jenkins, but 2 through whatever how many volumes there are is a completely different writer, and not even like co-authored by Paul Jenkins, like how a lot of the Bible was co-written by Tim Seeley. No, everything here, everything in volumes 2 and beyond is done by JMS, J. Michael Straczynski. At least volume 2, I know for sure. It's kind of weird, and I was like, you know what? That's all I'm gonna get for so far. That's all I'm gonna get for Sidekicks. Maybe they don't get that, but then I don't want to get everything JMS has done. That requires me to try and get a better copy of his Rising Stars compendium. The only compendium that has broken apart in my hand, so the binding completely fell apart. Like Courier's, at least stays mostly intact, but Rising Stars was like, I opened it, it was like like what the fuck? And it was not my copy on Amazon. No, it was the printing book. I ignored everybody's warning to not get the book because of binding issues, thinking, oh, wait, that's just everyone else's copy. You said that about books before that are perfectly fine for me, so let's get this one again. Let's get this one again. Let's get this. Let's get this. Now I kind of want to get it again though. Paul Jenkins and Kyle Hotz. Paul Jenkins writing and Kyle Hotz doing the artwork for the Agency, collecting 1 through 6 of the Agency. This one and the next one are two. See, that's not good though. Wait, sorry. That's too blurry. It looked like it was giving you the credits page. It looked like that was the credits page, but the aesthetic was making it seem really blurry. I think it was just showing the same, like, it was like producer Renee Zellweger, I don't know, and it was Renee something or other. And then it was like it was blurry, then kind of blurry, then it's still producer Renee Zellweger. Again, not the actual name, but it was Renee something or other. I can't remember off the top of my head. So it's Zellweger. This is one of the rare image books because it's so old. Because of how old it is, there's only a top cow thing on the back here, on the spine here. Nothing saying image at all, unless you go to the back here. Because it is image. It was image top cow. Back in the day, I guess I didn't like the card thing as an image book. This is the top cow. Very strange. This one's so old. It's just this top cow thing. But this is Tom Judge, The Rapture, written by Paul Jenkins with artwork done by Clayton Crane. Very old book. For image standards, anyways. Actually, I think it might have been like late 90s. The artwork screams late 90s in the best way possible, in my opinion at least, but it screams 90s. Now, this is not 1 through 9 of Tom Jenkins, or Paul Jenkins, Tom Judge, The Rapture. This is actually 1 through 8 of, what's it actually called? Oh, of Image Comics, or just Image Presents Universe? No, it's just Universe. Chapters 1 through 8 of Universe, but then Tom Judge End of Days one-shot for issue 9, or for chapter 9 of the series. Yeah, a little short story here. That's cool. But then pages 232 and beyond is just covers, and then timeline the universe, and then character bios. All shit I usually skip, except for variant covers. I do like looking at the variant covers. I know I just showed the artwork, but I started showing it again because I thought I didn't show it. They didn't show up with the Agency? I did, didn't I? Because they said it was. Yeah, I did. Because I said it because it was the whole Renee Zellweger thing. I'm pretty sure I did it. Yeah, I did it. Let's just do it right at the bat. Son of Shaolin. Artwork. This is what I should do from now on. Son of Shaolin. Or showing what the book is called. Artwork. Then artist. Then saying if I've read it or not before. And then if I have, talking about it. This one I have read before. I really dug this one. Very short read, too. This is written by Jay Longino. And the artist is Kanan White, the artist. And Diego Rodriguez is the colorist. Very ironic it says that the artist is someone white. And the cover is almost all exclusively white. Except for the logo and the little character here. Very ironic. Blue and Green. Ron V. Artwork first. Written by Ron V. This one I've read before. I thought it was decent enough. I know I'm liking that too much, but it was the only Ron V book I needed left, except for Silver Coin in his most recent ongoing. So I was like, let's get this. And I got one more. You'll soon see here. Unfortunately, it's not Silver Coin, but it is another Image Comics horror anthology that honestly I think I will like more than Silver Coin. So far, like Silver Coin, I'm like, do I need it right now? But this one coming up, I did. It was a long time coming. This one coming up. But Ron V is the writer, and Nod RK, I believe, is the only one. Yeah, is the artist. John Pearson is the color artist. And I'll show the artwork again. I know I just did, but I'll show the artwork again. I like showing the artwork. That, at the very least, if I forget to say Wicked and Divine Volume 2, Vandemonium, if I forget to do that, then that's fine. But it's like, it's art, it's showing off the artwork, crediting the writer and the artist, and then doing and then saying collecting issues blank through blank, and then finally it's Volume 2, Vandemonium, and that kind of thing. And of course, I mean, before all that, I like to say if I've read it before, and if I have, talking about it. If I haven't, I'll say the Agency, 1 through 6, yada yada yada, here's artwork, here's who writes, here's who the artist is. This one I have read. This is Bingo Love by T. Franklin, who might be a terrible person online, but is a pretty decent writer, at least for this book. It's the only book I've read by her, and I thought it was pretty, like, it for the most part, it wasn't preachy. And it did tell its stories. It is based off a true story, I do believe. Like, 99% of me want to say it's based off a true story because it's about lesbian grandmothers. I don't know if it's her grandmother, but I want to say it's based on a true story. I don't know, but it seems like it's very realistic. It's very grounded in realism. It's not preachy that much. Like, it avoids most of those annoying tropes that seem like they're just doing it for dramatic sake and to get the author's point across. But here's the artwork for Bingo Love. And this one is a jackpot edition, so you have a bunch of bonus stories sent by these authors and artists, of which I've not read. The one I got from my library. So this is a good example of me doing what's called a not a revamp. Oh, what's the word? An upgrade. Me doing an upgrade. It's an upgrade. They didn't have the jackpot edition, which comes with bonus stories. They only had the OGN, which is just an 80-page story by T. Franklin. So there you go. Yellow Simone was the main reason why I got that. I was like, okay, Yellow Simone, I got her Image Comics series, her 602 series I can't remember the name of. I got that way back when. Let's get this down. Genius. This is one of the only books. So actually, the next 1, 2, 3, 4 books are ones I bought myself. They weren't Christmas gifts or they weren't birthday gifts or anybody or anything like that. No, it was ones I bought myself. So first up is Genius Volumes 1 and 2. 1 and 2. Come on, spit it out. What about the series? Ah, there we go. So I have read the series before. Oh, artwork. Before I forget. Now this is basically your playthrough of Saints Row 2. I say Saints Row 2 specifically because this is also gangsters. Basically your playthrough of Saints Row 2 when you have cheats enabled and it's just a war against the cops. And there's very little story going along with the other story, but it's more just like the action, more just the fun. More just fun. And like investing story. It's like has so many layers. No, it's just a simple story. It's very, very enthralling. Written by Mike Bernardin and Adam Freeman. That much I know. And Afua Richardson is the artist, and that's it. I know I just showed the artwork, but here it is again. 1 through 5 plus pilot season Genius issue 1. Now, I have no idea why. So there's a series that I got last year called The Necromancer. And no, the pilot season Necromancer, even though it's written by the same writer, is not collected in Necromancer. No idea why I don't do that. They see they did it. And of course, this is the only one you get for free of the pilot seasons on the Kindle. Because it collected it already in the trade. There you go. That's good. It's a good way to... It's a good thing to mention, because those of you who are interested in the series can actually read the first issue for free. But yeah, Genius, Volume 1, Siege, collecting 1 through 5, plus pilot season one shot for Genius. Then Genius Volume 2, Cartel collects Genius Cartel issues 1 through 5. Yet again, same creative team. I'm just gonna say, like, if it's a 2-volume plus series, I'm just gonna say it's the same exact creative team as it was for Volume 1. Sometimes it might not be, but unless I know off the top of my head it's of an artist, I won't say anything about that for Volume 2. Hexagon Bridge, yeah, and a book I bought myself, written and drawn by Richard Blake, and the artwork is done by, yeah, everything is done by Richard Blake. Story and art done by Richard Blake. No, one thing I would mention when I was showing off this book today, is I recorded a bunch of videos today, which is just 2. But on today's video that we uploaded tomorrow in this time, so on the 30th, I did forget to mention that this is a European comic, meaning you have this, I'll show the artwork yet again, I'll show you artwork. So meaning you have this more like box, instead of a circle, it's a box for the letter, for the war balloons. So it's a war box, not war balloon. Now, whenever I see that text box instead of a war balloon, it does remind me of those days, the early days of me reading Mad Magazine and being bored out of my skull. Because I thought it was just, maybe it was targeted for a different audience than I was, but it's just never, I like the Cartoon Network show, the cartoon, but it just, the comics never lived up to that hype. they looked up that potential. Not a kind of guy that was like, oh, it's Ghost Universe. No, it was just the TV show is better than the comic, in my opinion. I don't know, but 1 through 5 are Hexagon Bridge. So whenever I see like that box, I always think I get flashback, if you will. This is my new copy of the Couriers, the Complete Edition. Now, I mentioned previously that the binding is broken in this book. This is the replacement that the binding is not broken on, but this is used very good, and this should be used good. There was a lot of, and this is, honestly, it's really just this, but just like a lot of like little things wrong with it. It's like, I don't know, man. But maybe because just the spine that has the most blemishes, maybe that's the only reason why they say use very good. No, otherwise they probably say they get away with the use like new. So yes, credit's due, fine. And this one collects a bunch of, all 4 OGNs of the series, which is the Couriers, Dirtbag Manifesto, the Ballad of Johnny Funwrecker, and then Couscous Express, which is actually the prequel to the series. I think, yeah, because that makes sense. They call it prequel. Alright, so this is all 3 volumes of Blue Estate, written by, I believe the artwork is also done by Victor Kalichev. I could be wrong. There's a little credits page here. I'm just going to show it for Volume 1, because I want to be showing the artwork for Volume 1. All 3 volumes, all 12 issues. So 12 issue series, collected in 3 volumes, 4 issues per volume. Volume 1 collects 1 through 4. Volume 2 collects 5 through 8. In Volume 3, collects 9 through 12. Now, I had found out the hard way that there was a Volume 3. By hard way, meaning I had to get it way after. And I wanted to get it for me, I ordered it way after all the other books. So it came in a bit later than all the other books did. That's why when I did my complete birthday haul, I showed a little piece of printed out paper of Volume 3, because I didn't have Volume 3 yet. And it was the same exact cover. I knew how many issues were collected. I knew the author, I knew everything. So I was just like, there we go. And if you need to know, the credits page is right there, too. All you have to do is zoom in. Amelia Clark and Marguerite Bennett's magnum opus, Mother of Madness. This is the one I mentioned previously that I'm going to do more in-depth review. Layla Lees does the artwork. And here is the interior artwork. Now this is used good. Now the third-party seller is Landed Bookseller, and they're the best, because the only thing really that's all that wrong with it that I can tell is this. Everything else is immaculate. It's crazy. And technically this is a previously owned library book. I count it as that. It says Library of Congress. I know it's not technically a library. I don't think, at least. I think of Library of Congress as that, like that magnum, like that vault of comics and movies and books. And it's like if you could live there, if you're a movie comic, like if you're like me, I just live there. I can live there and never get bored. They have everything. I think it's called Library of Congress. Anyways, moving on. In fact, I know it's called that. Scrapper, collecting 1 through 6 of Scrapper, written by Cliff Bleszinski, with artwork done by Sarah Jarrell, I believe, is the artist. Reminds you a lot of Stray Dogs, which I gotta read. Art is Sarah Jarrell, Ryan Kelly, and Jordy Belair. I know for a fact Jordy Belair is a colorist, but it just says art. It doesn't specify colorist. There's the artwork. Really cool. Okay, I will say again, Alex Campion is a co-writer, that murderer of Ed Piscor. But she is, because Ed Piscor called her a murderer. I'm going off of what Ed Piscor himself said before he unfortunately committed suicide. Very, very tragic story. I do recommend you go to your boy Zach's channel and look up your boy Zach, Ed Piscor. Look at Church of Mount Ian's channel, look up Ed Piscor, and get yourself educated, because he is extremely unbiased. No bias whatsoever. He tells the facts up front and center. Very, very sad story. And I got this because it was a series I wanted before I heard about what Alex Campion had done. So it was like, separate the art from the artist, you know? Yeah, 1 through 6, that's Scrapper. Hardcover though, $20. Pretty cheap hardcover, but pretty cheap price for a hardcover. Yeah, standard size, but good price overall. Yesterday's Tomorrows. Now this is written by a bunch of people. I'm just going to show it here. Notable name is Grant Morrison. Now, I'm going to try and show, because it does actually have a table of contents, and, not table of contents, a page count. So I'm going to go right to where I know the Grant Morrison story is. It's way back here, which is Dan Dare. He has two, but the most notable one is Dan Dare. And this is an anthology, but it's not just 10-page stories. It's like at least 30 to 40-page stories. There's only 5 people who write stories here. This is how you do an anthology. Because 10-page stories, even 10 pages is not a whole lot of time to write a story. It's one of the many reasons why I might just stop reading that Mind book, that Planned Parenthood bullshit book I only got for stupid reasons that, honestly, I've already read these stories I was most excited to read. But there's something I still want to read. And honestly, I want to give everyone a fair shot. I'm going to try my best to try and finish that one, but no promises. It's a bit of a slog to get through. Because again, it's 10-page stories, so. Razor Blades, written by many people. Alex Becknadel, Ron V, come on. Come on, brain, kick in. Look at it here. Oh, look at it here. Steve Fox is his noble name. Michael Walsh is too. Danny Lore. So a bunch of names like Danny Lore only has done anything else for Image. So kind of interesting. You know, this was definitely the most this is the one that I said it was more interesting and I wanted more than Silver Coin. This was, and again, it's Alex Becknadel. The last thing I need by him. Yeah, it's a 10-page story, but it looks like it's right up my alley. So I'm going to show only 2 parts of this book because it's worth noting that some of the artwork is black and white. However, some of it is in color. And several stories are done by these. I know it's just one story by Ron V, but several. James Tynion did the great majority of this, and I believe James Tynion I think I have everything by him that I needed. Closet, because World Tree is an ongoing. I could be wrong though. Don't quote me on that. I know once I get Razor Blades, I'll have everything they need except for World Tree, because that's an ongoing, and it's Volume 2, their issues are already out, and even if I get Volume 1 right now, it's Pharaoh is the next book. Okay. It's getting late, so I was like, is it? I thought it was an hour late. I thought it was an hour later than it actually was. Pharaoh, written and drawn by Viktor Kalichev. That's all his. I'm going to see if there's anything else credited. I don't think there is going to be. An hour and 11 minutes. What the hell? We're going over everything again. Yeah, Viktor Kalichev, story and art. Looked interesting. Nice big ass hardcover. You can tell it's used very good. Honestly, if anything, it's worse than the used good book I got. But nothing that bad. Nothing that bad. So Purdy, this is the next series. Almost done here too. Everything done by Kickley. This is a nice little humorous little not, I wouldn't say forgettable, but kind of a good enough kind of book. I thought it was really good. I thought it was interesting. I liked it enough, but nothing that's gonna break any new ground. And it's just silly and over the top and just kind of funny. I liked it. Volume 1 is called Flower, Sex, and Robbery. Volume 2 is called Blackjack, Orgasms, and Lace. So you know exactly what this kind of book is. But it's not too over the top with its sexual humor. I think it does its sexual humor the best. And finally, last but certainly not the least, Noah, the graphic novel, written by Darren Aronofsky and Ari Handel, with artwork done by Nico Hendry. Hermichon? I don't know. But nice little slipcase thingy that comes with it. I will keep. I say slipcase thing, it's not an actual slipcase, but technically it is. Impeccable artwork and outstanding, absolutely outstanding format. This is the exact same size format as is a DC Prestige Plus Black Label book. A little bit bigger. So those of you who probably saw this little slipcase probably saw that yes, it is based on that major motion picture. Now I don't usually get Blu-rays. Reason for why that is because I have way too many comics to get to even begin to concern myself with Blu-rays. And my local library is bound to have each and every movie that's out on Blu-ray, except for some new releases. But even then, I have to be patient. With comics, not a guarantee, especially if it's from Image. But this month marks one of the very few times that I will actually buy a Blu-ray myself, and I did indeed buy the Blu-ray for Noah. I decided to hell with it, we're getting it. It was $10, and I had $10 left over for my sister's budget, so it was that she gets for me, because her budget is, I'm not gonna go to what it is, but I had $10 extra. So like, you know what, let's get the movie. But that, as they say, is that 56 comics plus a movie. 55 if you don't count because I don't technically count the second copy of Couriers. So 55 comics, technically 56 comics. A lot of books to read. Even the ones I previously read before, I haven't read any of those. Even Wicked, it's been a while since I read them. So definitely, you definitely tell why I'm taking a little while to go to the library. So actually, as of right now, there is really no update to make other than I'll be going to the library eventually. And the reason for why I'm not going right away, it's not just because I got so many comics. Like I know I'll read these eventually. You know, it's not like one of those things where it's going to go away. The comics that I own are going to go away or anything like that. No, I know they're not. I'm fine with, putting these books, I'm putting my personal collection of books off for a little bit to get library books. But the main reason why I'm not going right away, or I'm not going off schedule again, is because my grandmother, I believe I mentioned in this cut, this actual video, that she got her fingers injured with doing yard work, and she can just make it to my house and back. Like, she had to get, for my birthday party, she was there, and then a day later because the books from her came in late, Razor Blades and All Against All came in a day late, so she bought it a day late, a day that came in. It was late that day, I think, but, you get the point. It was the day after. That was all, And maybe she's better now. Maybe she could take the library. The library's not that far from our house, but it's one of those things where I'm like, I'm not going to burden her with it. And honestly, it gave me more time to finish everything at once. There you go. But after this point, you will get part 1 of the library comic reviews. So there you go. Or the comic reviews in general. There you go. And movies too. I don't think there's anything else to mention. I hate that this video is shorter than the other, but I mean, honestly, that was a complete birthday haul, and I think this should be more because I'm just going over almost all the same books, except for like a few extra books, so it makes sense that this is more summarizing what I mentioned before there, so it makes sense. But what was it? What did I say I was gonna do? And then I was gonna go through them all again. I don't know. I'm not going to do that. That's a lot to go over. But that, as they say, is that. An insane amount of comics. Probably the best comic haul. Definitely the best comic haul of this year thus far. January is pretty good with finally getting the rest of the Brian K. Vaughan books I needed. But this one was the best because I got some series I've been waiting to get. And just more of the library. Honestly, I have everything that I have wanted to get that my library had. I like so much or it was just significant enough to buy myself. There's a few extra ones. Another Scotty Young book Bully Wars, but that's a kitty book. I'm not gonna want that in my collection. At least Scales and Scoundrels, they didn't have the extended cut at my local library, and it was a book I was interested in reading again. So I got the one that came out. It was like $8. It was a sale right now. It was $8 total, and I got to get it at a significant discount even then. So it was no skin off my back whatsoever. But I think I mentioned everything I want to mention. Oh yeah, sorry, going back to that. There's a few extras, but it's like usually like I might. No, I'm not gonna get Scurry. Scurry, I have a local library. I think books like that and Bully Wars will be the ones that I'll always have. I'll only get Bully Wars when I get I Hate Fairlands and the other Scotty Young books. I just wanted to get Twig because it was notable. X1 Bravo had mentioned how I think it was his wife or his friend or someone had some variant covers for Twig, and I showed off Twig when I was showing off I was reading it for the first time. And it was just notable, and it was one I really liked. But even then, Bully Wars was just kind of like, it was just kiddie. Like, at least Scales and Scoundrels, it was only kiddie because they didn't swear, because the violence wasn't too bad. Bully Wars was made for kids, and you could tell it's made for kids. At least Scales and Scoundrels, especially Scurvy, like, it's pretty intense for some kids. Like, Bully Wars, anyone can read it. Actually, even then, the Scurvy was older audiences too. But Bully Wars is just like too kiddie. And I don't like getting a whole lot of E for everyone in Image Comics. See for teen, even then I have a hard time with it. I'm like, and it's gonna be as graphic for violence, and especially like I don't need everything to be extremely graphic that I get from Image, but I don't want it to be like kiddie either. It's like let's like the kiddie books, and it just makes my overall spending habit a little bit easier, But it's just one of those things for me. But I think that's everything. I don't want this to cut off on me, so I probably won't end it right now. I need to get all these books put on the shelf. So see you guys in the next one. I was able to do this without having to do a live stream. I was gonna do a live stream, but I was like, no, I'm not gonna wait till June 1st. With June 1st, I'm busy, doing other shit. Today, I knew for the most part I'd have the entire date to myself. Not 100% sure I would, but almost positive I would. So, yeah, but if I realize I forgot to mention something, then so be it. Oh, another thing. So I do want to eventually get back onto the every Image comic I own that I've read and going into more in-depth reviews, like Virginia stuff, Genius, yeah. I'll probably so I do want to try and finish once and for all, finish Middle West, finish Outcast. So that might just be July 4th. I don't know. I want to upload it on a significant day. Maybe Image. When was the Image Comics founded? My exact date. When was Image Comics founded? I know 92. Doesn't say exactly when, but Dark Horse Comics does. It says 92. See, Wikipedia doesn't have it. I don't know. Oh well. Alright, so an hour and 21 minutes. Nice. Pretty much the longest video. One of my longest videos, at least. That's everything. I just keep thinking, I'm going to end this video and be like, oh shit, we mentioned that book. I was going to mention something about that book, but we're good. Because I took everything off the shelf. Because it's Genius and Couriers and we gotta say some more. Well, Couriers is actually in my closet right over there. Because the original copy that looks a lot better overall is on the shelf. Yeah, it has a broken binding, but the overall presentation is a lot better. And I just want to have that. I want to keep my new copy away from my shelf and just put it in the closet, but I won't keep handling it, That's it. Like, take it off the shelf,